Buckle up, folks. We are streaming. We're live on YouTube and Twitch, and live on the Astraea SMP, and live in my garden, where I'm just sitting next to a campfire that's out. Alright, we have a lot of stuff to do today. I'm planning on basically just going around and doing all those little errands that I've been putting off due to making Pigman the game for what feels like months and months, but I guess it was technically months and months. But yeah, so the first on the agenda is to finish these roads. So I've already made quite a difference from some work on this weekend. This is, if you remember, this is all gravel earlier in the inception of the road, I guess. It was all just gravel. I laid out just gravel paths, and I went through and texturized quite a bit, matching basically what I have over here in my pond area. However, I didn't get it completely finished. The front, actually it cuts off right about here, is completely unfinished. It's still plain gravel. Over here is plain gravel, and the front is actually even worse, because the front I never even got to the gravel. I just have stone laid out. So I need to go through, do all that. I also installed all these street lamps, quite a few, I think like maybe 30 or so I've installed around. They don't completely stop spawns. That's not super critical to me, completely stopping spawns. I could give or take that. Let me sleep where I get blown up by a creeper. They don't completely stop spawns, but it's just to make, one, the area look better, decoratively better, and two, it is to prevent some spawning on heavily trafficked areas. I'm not really super interested in completely eliminating all spawns across the entire island. I can hear a zombie, I think it's beneath me. Across the entire island, that would just be torch spam, essentially, or light spam, and this is supposed to be more of a natural kind of forest, a park, so to speak. And I just think that would look completely absurd if I went nuts with the light sources. But I was up here on my AFK chamber. I always call this a chamber. My platform in the sky. This is where I AFK to activate my creeper farm, if I can land on it, geez. And yeah, so it's perfectly positioned so the creepers start spawning right beneath me. This is a creeper farm, this pill-shaped object. And looking down, one, I had like tons of spawns of mobs, which is fine. You know, I might actually spawn-proof this area right here just so I can activate this, so I can AFK here, essentially. But it just didn't look right. Like, having no street lamps and having all these paths just did not look right, so that's why I put street lamps in there. Anyway, so on to the agenda. We are going to gravel and kind of mix, texturize, I guess is a better term. We're going to texturize from here. This is where I ended, all the way out front, and then wrap around all the way through here and right here. So let's get the supplies and let's start this. If we get through enough of it, or if I just get bored of it, then I'll move on to a oh my lord, I can't talk. A sorting facility that I worked on using copper golems. Just some of the ideas and some of the objectives that I was trying to do. So yeah, that'll be the next thing that we work on. This is the coolest thing ever, by the way. So shelves can hold full stacks of items. So if you just walk up, say I have rockets in my hand, tier 1 rockets, and I right click, it'll refill the stack. So if I had golden carrots in this, it would do the same thing. It's the coolest thing ever. I don't know if I just accidentally discovered that or what. I'm sure I'm not the first, far from the first to discover that. Anyway, let's grab all the stuff that we need. So tough slabs. We need mossy cobblestone, a lot of andesite slabs. We'll take both of these. I'll probably need a full 2 extra stacks, so I'm just gonna make those really quick. So there, that'll give me plenty. I already have stone out there. Let's just grab a couple, 3 stacks maybe of gravel, and then I think that's about it. I'll go back. I'll make a pass with grass after I make progress. Actually, I want to take some pale moss as well. Yeah, that should be it. So let's head out. Let's get down to business. Alrighty. Okay. And one thing I want to check in chat really quick in my stream elements commands that aren't coming through. So since no one seems to be watching right now, I'm going to take advantage. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm trying in chat if you're watching YouTube chat. Okay, that's not helpful. Usage timer. So do I do this? Worst stream ever. What? Okay, whatever. All right. Something weird. Okay, so let's start first with, oh, I didn't grab stone because I was thinking of that up front. So let's grab some stone. Ooh, professional. Just using slabs because they're less resource intensive, so sorry for the purists out there. They want to utilize as many resources as possible for every task. I don't know if you exist, but actually I'm pretty sure you do because I think Etho is of Hermitcraft fame is one of those types of people. Okay, so let's go through, and this is typically how I approach it. I just go and start randomly, kind of noisily creating holes and gaps and removing blocks, and then go back and fill those. So this needs an andesite pass. So I try to get the andesite a little bit more centered. I think that has a little bit more of a worn out, I guess, or compacted look. So that's the first pass, is I try to go through and do andesite here. And then I'll do another pass with stone. I try to avoid the edges with the andesite though. Try to just have the andesite in the center. Unless it's a 3 wide path, then I will have to do some andesite in the edge, on the edge, because it just won't look right. All right. This is looking good. Whoop. Misplace. That will happen a lot. So I like to try to create as many clumps as possible, I guess, is for lack of a better term. So I typically won't do like just onesie twosies. Like I won't just do like this, you know, well, that tends to look more like a checkerboard pattern, but basically going for blobs of certain block types, of matching block types. And I feel that gives it a nice randomness where you don't, your eye doesn't start tracking patterns, which I think is when, you know, obviously Minecraft is on a grid, so patterns are very easy to create, sometimes even by accident. And if you do end up creating one, a human eye will catch that very, very quickly. We are highly attuned predators that that detect patterns very, very quickly. Eyes forward, kind of predator, and that's kind of how we lived or died. Not just hunting other animals, but this is such an odd digression of a conversation that I'm having with myself. But you know, we evolved to see patterns as far as farming and harvesting crops and what have you. So it's basically one of our superpowers as a species. So long story short, Clump. Clumping is your friend. Alright. Alrighty, ready. Of course it's raining. Why wouldn't it rain? This is probably gonna take forever. So essentially what I'm doing is I make a pass first, again with stone and andesite, and then I start adding the more, I guess, curious blocks. Because the stone and andesite basically just, they're of the same value, very similar value, very similar hue to the gravel. So it's just to add a little bit of noise and a little bit of variety. The next pass will be for, like, essentially like wet spots or spots where maybe some moss would grow or something along those lines. So I leave that for last because I typically target shaded areas for that, like under trees or in areas that may pool, like in little divots and stuff like that. So, and typically on the edge, because the parts that you walk on as often will lack, moss and stuff like that, because it's trampled on. Alright, we're doing good though. I've been doing this for a while, so I'm a little burned out on the the process, but I'm also very experienced, so I can do this fairly quickly. It's funny though, because we as builders we set our own rules, and then we end up following those rules sometimes to a T, and then getting really, really quick at those rules. But it's like a very unique set of talents essentially, because you're executing your own plan. All right. The zigzaggy, the lightning bolt shape, that's a favorite. And that works really, really well for the blob kind of approach. But if you do it too much, then you end up recognizing patterns. Like you can see this one and this one are the same. I don't think it'll be a problem, but that's why you have to kind of, you just gotta watch. You gotta be as random as possible. However, too much random can be unbelievable as well, and unrealistic as well. Too much randomness, because things will kind of tend to clump together. Alrighty then. I have no idea what in-game chatter is happening right now, but there's a lot of it. I should have put one here. It's breaking my on the edge rule, but rules are made to be broken. Is that all I have left? It's just 8 stone? Yeah, I'm gonna have to make more. No big deal. All right. I guess we'll just wrap around. This is where it's stone heavy actually, so I won't probably need to make more stone immediately at least. Just try to break into that gravel using a axe. Alright. I have so much gravel, I don't really need to pick all this up, but it's a force of habit. Oh, okay. Thank you, Evan. That's what all the chatter's about. An old player logged in and hasn't logged in a while. So, Evan, one of the players on the server, is excited to show this individual all the new things that they've been working on. Which there is a lot of new things. We have a whole Christmas village thing. which I am not participating in, not for lack of any sort of festive spirit. It's just I was so focused on Pigman that I just didn't have the time. I just didn't have the time to dedicate to a build. I might go over there and throw a tree up or something, but definitely not anything as extravagant as like the Halloween build or anything like that. Debating on bringing a beacon over, but I think then I'll just end up chewing through this stone so quickly that I don't have a chance to really form it in a reasonable way. All right. All right, I have to put a lot of gravel down in this area. This is going to be opposite of the approach. It's going to throw me off my game, basically, because it's starting with stone. So I have a feeling I won't add enough gravel, but let me just add a ton here and then see if it's still believable. Come on. There we go. Not at all. All right, we got to really tear this place up. Might even just make a pass and just rip all the stone up. Because this is going to be possibly more time consuming doing it the opposite way as I usually do it. Oh wow, my Stream Elements timer is actually working, so whatever I did, maybe it was me, maybe it just decided to work right when I started fiddling with it, but look at that. I've had that thing running for the last like 4 streams, and it has sent probably 2 messages to YouTube. And I had all the settings, like as far as I know, I had all the settings adjusted correctly, but it's like broken. Sometimes a bird's eye view really helps things. Left side. Got a little too stone heavy over here. Probably gonna chew up these edges anyway because, again, I have to texture with the mossy stuff and the tuff and everything, so. All right, that's good. I think that looks good. Hopefully you were in for a very chill stream, because that's what it's going to be. Unless someone talks me into going over and playing Pigman. Okay, let's go through and start filling. First, let's make a pass with the gravel. Whoa, whoa. That's the new song. I wrote this for Pigman, for the Pigman video. Well, that's already looking pretty good. Okay, then we'll go through and do the andesite. Mean to do that. All right. I have the F5 keys marked to, or mapped to my mouse side buttons, so I always end up accidentally hit those. And the zoom is the other one. I always end up hitting that as well, especially when I'm trying to like PvP. I get clumsy and fat finger stuff. Oh, that was a horrible placement. Let's do a bird's eye. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing really good. We've already went all the way here. Look at that. We'll be done before we know it. Of course, it's never done because I just keep on making passes at it and cleaning this up and cleaning that up. I might even add the street lamps out while I'm here as well. I was debating on whether I should wait because I'm not certain how I want to do the design of the front of the greenhouse. My inkling is to do some taller hedges along the coarse dirt all the way through. But that doesn't answer whether I should put street lamps on this side or on this side. My first instinct is this side because there's light in the greenhouse, so that's already getting cast out. Like, I think, yeah, so it's already kind of reducing spawn somewhat. However, I'm not sure look-wise whether that'll look good, or that'll look weird, or what. Okay. Sunset with the bridge in the background. So relaxing, and an ocelot frozen in place. Beautiful. Is someone going to sleep? We don't know. To be continued. All right. I don't think they are. I don't think they're gonna sleep. And I'm a coward, so I slept. How did you lose your bed, Birdie? Birdie in chat said he was going to sleep, but lost his bed. All right, let's go through and do gravel. Working with your villagers and the place is a mess. Yep. All right, let's go through and do some andesite. That's an edge one. It's breaking my rule, but we'll try it. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. Oh, Evan's really giving the tour. Sounds like in the Halloween district right now, huh? All right. That should be enough for the andesite. Another block I wanted to try on the edges. I've been struggling. Matching the grass is easy. Matching the path to the grass, because you just like use mossy blocks, like mossy cobble, mossy stone bricks and stuff like that, and pale moss, and it blends really, really well. But matching a path that butts up against dirt, a little bit more of a challenge. So what I had been using is dripstone blocks, and that actually does really, really well. It has a good transition. But when I wanted to maybe pepper in there as a secondary is maybe acacia with the bark on, acacia wood with the bark on, and see how that looks, because it has like that grayish tone but a little bit of brown, and I think that might be a good transition between the dripstone block and the dirt. I'm gonna experiment with that next. Alrighty. Really? I'm already, see, I go through this so quickly, I'm already almost out of andesite. Let's do one here. A lot of these edge ones are gonna end up getting torn out anyways, I bet, because what ends up happening is when you go through and mossify everything, you end up focusing on the edges a little bit more. Well, I end up focusing on the edges a little bit more. Okay, this looks a little too gravelly. Okay. That's good. That looks like it's professional. All right. On we go. Okay. Oops. Did not want to do that. They're going through the Bates Motel right now. Here's my build. For those watching the stream, it's called, or the video is called, "A Psycho is Loose on Our Server." I believe that's what I called it. I changed the title of that one like a dozen times because it just did not perform as well as I was hoping it would perform. But yeah, sometimes you win some, you lose some. So I kind of left it at that. That's the thing about YouTube though, is if you don't hit a good title and thumbnail combination within the first week, then you're pretty much shot. You can change it to anything you want. It doesn't really matter. Is that a wandering trader? This would be the. He's like, This is the first wandering trader I've ever seen on Astraea, guys. What do you got? Drips. I need nothing. I need nothing from you. You're gonna trade a water bottle for an emerald? Actually, that's not too bad. And a milk bucket? Oh, yeah. I could use some leads, though. All right, everyone on chat, turn their backs. Hey, stop hopping away. There we go. Got the leads. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think so, bro. Okay, that was horrible. That was horrible for everyone to witness. I apologize. Get those free leads at 6 leather. First wandering trader, and I just like murdificate them. Oh man. horrible. I'm a horrible person. It's just voxels, people. It's just voxels, man. It's a 64 by 64 ping for a texture file. Come on. All right. I did. Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. Are you still like collecting them? Or you needed the llamas, right? I totally didn't even think. I just did it. I just murdificated them without even thinking. It was very selfish of me. If I see another one, though, I will capture the llamas for you, because I'm pretty sure you are in need of llamas. I actually do have llamas, though, on my island that I can breed up if you need to. Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. That's a lie. Any lie that you thought you heard that I murdered wandering traders, totally a lie. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this cliff. I don't want to lay... If I lay... let's just do stone. If I lay gravel, then I end up tearing it up and it's going to fall through. Oh, they need to be trader llamas specifically. Oh, jeez. Now I feel bad. I feel terrible. Okay, I will definitely save them if I see any in the future. I did not know that they needed to be trader llamas specifically. You know, I do remember actually now thinking about it, hearing that in the chat at some point, so I apologize, Sam. All right. All right, I need more andesite. All right, let me return back, get more andesite from my hole in the ground. Andesite. Totally forgot, had a senior moment there. Totally forgot what I was even in here for. Welcome to chat, Sam, by the way. What am I doing? I need to put some of that stone away. Way too much stone in my inventory. Here. Right? Yes. Alright, let's do a stack. 2 stacks, rather, of slabs. And let's keep the gravel, because I'm going to need that. And I will do this. So that's actually really interesting, though, as far as the wandering trader, though, because that's the first time I've seen one, and that is sorry, I saw a patrol a couple days ago. So whatever was going on with the server is obviously fixed. Because now we're seeing all those little creatures wandering around our world, which we hadn't been before. So something was definitely off at some point in time. Okay. All right. And what am I placing? Gravel or no, andesite? I'm on to andesite. And boom. Oh, you had that same issue? That is a strange, or sorry, Birdie in chat. That is so strange because I hardly ever see traders on the server, but when playing single player, I can't get rid of them. Oh, 100%. Like they are everywhere. Like you're building like a huge, skyscraper, and they'll just be on the edge of it, with their llamas dangling off by a lead and stuff. Just spawning constantly, but here, yeah, nothing. And then, or my past experience in servers, I had the same issue. It must be some like mob cap thing or something. Some strange thing that you know, servers that are going for a while end up suffering from. It's my guess, at least. I know a lot of people in even their single player worlds that they've had for a very long period of time, passive mobs are basically like toast. They just don't spawn anymore due to some weird, you know, bugs or rules or something. All right. I know they changed that too, like Mojang made it so spawn chunks aren't really a thing anymore, because that used to be what they chalked it up to as far as the passive mobs, because if you have the spawn chunks, then if you have, and it's a very low number, it's like 15 or something passive mobs loaded in the spawn chunks, then basically anywhere the player went, they wouldn't load. But there's a setting that you can actually turn off. Well, now there's spawn chunks just don't even exist, but there's a setting. They released a setting first where you could actually disable that. I remember having to lower that to like 0 or whatever in my forever world. Yeah, they do put themselves in ridiculously deadly situations for sure. For sure. You'll see like they're on the edge of a precipice of a cliff, like the lead dangling, and the poor llama just near death. This is gonna look like crap for a bit until I figure out this cliff face. I mean, it already kind of looks like crap. Like, I'm trying to figure out whether I want to build out the grass, like out to here, or if I want to do like a platform. It could be wood, it could be stone, but some sort of platform that would have, you know, braces and kind of on stilts or whatever. But I haven't decided, and I've been debating on this for now like 10 months, and I just have not come up with a great idea that I like, or a great design that I like, that fits the aesthetic that I'm going for. I'm always like at this crossroads between having this be a very natural, you know, like natural paths, forests, natural looking environment with a few structures on it. And obviously you have this giant, you know, greenhouse on it, and having it be a little bit more of a modern park, I guess, a contemporary park where you'd have a little bit more infrastructure, you know, like roads as opposed to just dirt paths and stuff. So I'm always debating on which direction I want to like kind of take my lore when it comes to the island. And I have not settled on a single direction. I mean, the modernness kind of fits the most because of the fact that I have this giant greenhouse, and I don't think they'd be building a giant greenhouse in like a national park, like a, you know, like a forested kind of national park, but you know, the St. Louis Arch is a national park, so who the heck knows? These are the thoughts I have as a grown man. These are the thoughts I have in my world. Sam and Chad, how about an old park, like a park that's been around for a while, might need some infrastructure updates, might be a little worse for wear. Yeah, that is the approach I'm taking as far as the structures themselves. You know, they got like over here, you know, the basically moss is growing on the side of it, you know, that kind of thing. Where things are a little overgrown, especially this guy. You know, things are a little overgrown. So that is the idea. This whole structure is, there's a lot of conservatories across the nation that look similar to this. And this one's based on one in Detroit, on an island called Belle Isle. And this is their conservatory. It's essentially a very similar model to this. So it's not out of question that you would have, you know, this big, you know, giant structure in a park. And It's also not out of question that you'd have a forest, you know, within the vicinity of that structure. So it's not exactly like the quandary that I have is unanswerable or anything. It's just I'm always at a crossroads, always debating on how far I want to take it this direction. How far do I want things to be worn out? How far do I want things to be newer looking, you know, and stuff like that? Or do I want any newer looking stuff? You know. There we go. All right, I need to start and setting up some of these areas. There's going to be a point in my history on Astraea where I'm actually going to need stone. I'm so like just toss it away about stone. I'm picking it all up right now, but I've just tossed so much stone away that I know I'm gonna regret it at some point. Like, I need some stone. That was supposed to be andesite, you silly goose. Jeez. There we go. Get over here. Yeah, exactly, Birdie. In chat, I thought I'd never run out of stone, but now I'm in the position where I'm using other people's stone farms. That's the one thing that I always keep in mind about, you know, my hoarding tendencies in Minecraft is like, if it's a renewable block, like, come on, man. But all the stone for digging out Pigman, that giant hole in the ground I just tossed, is let it despawn. And all the stone that I carved out this beach, because this is pretty much a sheer cliff right here, all this I tossed. Yeah, it'll be regrettable at one point, I'm sure. More andesite, yes, okay, good. All right, I have not did a bird's eye view on a bit. Okay, that's looking good, that's looking good. Okay, wrap around and then I'll do emulsify. Wow, I am actually gonna get through this way before the stream is done. and I apologize that this is not an exciting stream, but hopefully we can discuss a few things that maybe are interesting. And hopefully I don't murder any more wandering trader llamas, and hopefully, you know, this is interesting. Sometimes you just need to chill out, though. My last few streams have been focused on Pigman and running around and getting things debugged and stuff. I just need to relax my brain a little bit. This game is supposed to be relaxing. Not that Pigman wasn't relaxing, it's just sometimes fixing bugs is a little bit more frustrating than relaxing. This can be mindless. Maybe that's a better term. Mindless activity. I needed a mindless chore to do. Time to play Pigman. Hey, Mojo, how you doing? Thank you for joining the stream. Life on Astraea today is fairly quiet. There's only a few people on. A couple of them are in my chat, and yeah, we're just chilling. But if anyone wants to play Pigman, I mean, by all means, you can. If you need me to host, then I will go over there. Oh, that's another thing as far as Pigman is concerned. I do think we should install, which I'm going to bring this up to Asumi, who is our server owner. I think we should install it's basically like an alt account, a fake alt account plugin, and then I forget what it's called. Wild Loaders. That's what it's called. It's called Wild Loaders, and essentially you can use a beacon-like object, a beacon-like block, to fake an AFK player. So it doesn't just load chunks. It actually, you know, does all the things that a player being there would do, like load and like mobs actually spawn and stuff like that. I think we should put one of those over Pigman, and that would just relieve everyone's inability to, you know, play multiple levels and stuff without without all the pigs despawning. Moving pigs from the nether would be simple, you know, stuff like that. So I'm going to talk to Asumi about potentially installing that. I don't think they're craftable. I think you have to be gifted one from an admin, these blocks. And I'm not sure the particulars as far as how you set them, because you can set them to have time limits and stuff, but I'd want something that's just like permanent. However, before I do that, I need to get under into the caves of Pigman and light them all up. I'd like to try to make it as spawn-proof as possible, so we don't end up, you know, just with hundreds of mobs, you know, especially like zombies picking up stuff. It's always like a hassle when they're picking up stuff, and then you have just hundreds of them in the caves beneath. So that'll be probably a stream objective for me, is to get down into the caves under Pigman. I've done a decent job in some of the caves surrounding, but, you know, I have definitely not went 128 blocks out. I support it because starting a run is very stressful, because I keep thinking I'm going to get to level, 1 million and not have enough pigs. 100%. Birdie, because you know Randy programmed the game to get to level 1. Wait, how many zeros are there? 10 billion? Is it 3 million? 100 million? 100 million, I think, is what... Oh, Birdie's is even larger. Actually, the level counter will only get to 99, and then it just rolls over. So you have to keep the triple digit in your head if you get there. The fact that most players are having trouble getting to level like 4, I don't think anyone's getting to level 99 anytime soon, let alone level 100 million or whatever. But I have the same concern, Birdie. Like, one, if you're in the way you were doing it, you had like an AFK player in the nether, so you were constantly flowing the pigs in. But if you just do it without an AFK player and you just do it straight solo, as soon as you die, as soon as your first level, all the pigmen will despawn. Then you have to go back in the nether and get a bunch more, and it's just, it becomes unfun very quickly. I need more gravel. All right. Challenge accepted. The game not bugging out even to level 100, I'm not 100% confident in. Sam just tried to play and was just trying to get to level 2, and it bugged out, and the counter ended up miscounting and stuff, so. Minecraft gonna be Minecraft at times, and it's a struggle. Oh, I thought I heard a wandering trader for a second there. I thought I heard that. All right, what am I doing? I need a sec. Let's just get 2 more stacks. That might be enough to take us over that corner and finish this pass. I did not need andesite. I needed gravel, you jackwagon. Oh, jeez. Okay, gravel. Yes, this is the new song that I made for Pigman. Little bit of a departure from my my previous tracks that I've made for, you know, for gameplay, essentially. This one's a little bit more, I don't even know, less electronic, I guess, feeling. At least that's how my kid described it. It's like, it doesn't have all the beeps and bloops. Like, it does, though. It has a bunch of Pac-Man samples I actually threw in. Like little Pac-Man sounds. Right there. I don't know if you heard that, but it's like a when Pac-Man dies. Just tossed in. I had the loop too, like the game loop of Pac-Man when he's eating, like the wow, 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 and that was so irritating. Like, I gotta turn this off. It took a while though, because I had to modify it. I think Pac-Man, most of the sounds are in C major, and that song is in E minor. So I had to modify it in order to fit and change the key. So it took a little while. But I did it to all the sounds, and it fits really well. Alrighty. Of course, I could have just changed the song to be in. If I wanted a minor key, I could have just changed it to A minor, which is C major's relative minor, but whatever. You know, it's just, song was already there. Or sometimes it's just stream of thought and I just speak, so it's very boring to you. I apologize. Here we go. How's that? How's that? That's looking good too. Good mix. Okay, good. And just for those who need catching up, this is the objective, is to have it a little bit more like this. So we have tough on the edges with pale moss, a little bit of mossy cobblestone, mossy brick, just kind of blending in. But I mainly do a pass of just stone, andesite, and gravel first, and then I start adding this and just little bits here and there. But here's where I'm still kind of monkeying around. Is I really like the dripstone block and how it transitions between stone, or like a stone gravel path, to the coarse dirt. However, I'm looking for a third block, and I think what is it? Acacia wood. I think acacia wood might work because it's very brown, or it's very grayish brown. So I'm gonna experiment with that with the bark on, and see if that's a good transition block. I don't have a bunch on hand though, so I need to acquire said acacia first and then monkey with it. Sam, I know nothing about music, but I appreciate people who do. Yeah, I've been doing the music thing for a little while. Over 30 years. I wasn't like a band geek or anything. The theory stuff kind of came really late. But I started about maybe 10, 15 years ago. I started really getting into theory. And it's been downhill ever since. My first few tracks that I wrote for gameplay I actually wrote in A minor because I had this thinking that I'd blend the tracks together at different periods of time, which I have done in some videos, but that starts getting really boring. The cool thing about A minor though, and C major, is it's just all the white keys. So you can look like a genius on piano if you know that fact. Man, I am breaking my rule with the andesite all over the place. Early in the stream, I said when I use andesite, I don't like on a large path like this, I don't like to place it right on the edge, because I think it looks a little bit more realistic, like it's been trampled on when you place it a little closer to the center, but I have been placing it on the edge everywhere. I'll probably end up digging that up anyways and replacing it with mossy stuff. Yeah, it looks good. Wait, what are the black keys doing exactly? Yep. Unless you want to get spicy, then A minor, you could throw in a black key here and there. It's not going to technically be A minor, but you can get some notes in there that have a spicy thing. Sonic Youth was a band that existed. I mean, that's what people always criticize jazz, you know. But there's keys, obviously, like, what do you call it? Geez, I can't even think of terms right now. My brain is modes of scales. So technically, I mean, it's A minor Dorian would be the most common, or pentatonic A minor in guitar, but you can do Mixolydian A minor, and that gets a little spicy. Sleep. lot of metal bands will do some crazy stuff like that. Oh, please don't sleep. Never mind. Okay, I won't sleep. But I'm outside, Knight. I'm outside. I'm gonna have to run inside because this is not gonna bode well. There's literally no light out here. All right, I need more gravel. I skipped the gravel in this section. As soon as I start seeing mobs spawning, I'm out of here. We're gonna have to put some blocks away or something. I was filming an intro to oh, well, actually that guy. I miss him, of course. I'm trying to switch to my sword to get looting. I'll take it. All right, we're out of here. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I was filming the intro to a video, so I disrobed all my armor and immediately got blown up by a creeper because I was like in this view, in the F5 view. I'm just sitting here and then I just see this creeper come from, you know, like over by the chest. And then I don't know what to do. I instead of just hitting the mouse button again to go back to my regular view, I just like run like an idiot and hit a wall, and then the creeper blows me up. Like, oh, that's nice. And of course my spawn wasn't set because I'm always like setting down a bed, sleeping, and then breaking the bed. So yeah, that was embarrassing. Whatever. I've gotten killed so many times at Big Man, doesn't matter. I don't think anyone is even like surprised. No one's even active in chat when I die. Just like, okay. No one asked me for help or anything. It's like, whatever. Or asked to help me, rather. Whatever. Alright. Did he say we could sleep? Don't sleep. Have to check if mobs spawning or not. Okay, yeah, so the back of the disco is very dark. Do we light it? Dude, you could just do that with Mini Hut, bro. Okay. Alright. You figured it out. I'm sleeping. I got work to do. Let's get some more food. Oh man, I gotta trade more with these farmers. Oh, and I showed this at the top of the stream too, and I talked about this a little bit, I think, in Discord, but this is the greatest thing ever. So, shelves can hold full stacks. This is just feeding into it. So if you notice I'm 4 down from a stack, right click, boom, topped off on rockets. It's the greatest thing. Quiet down, bro. Yeah, getting blown up besides background. Exactly. It's totally background noise. Man, I gotta deal with you jerks. Come on. Nah, he actually blew up, bastard. Whatever, I'll leave that spider alone. Do I need any of this crap? Nah, not really, but whatever, I'll hold on to it. I need to do like a regular mob farm, like a generic mob farm. 'Cause it's actually a really good source of bone meal with the bones and everything. Alright. Thankfully, we're getting back to the gravel. I'm more used to working with a gravel path as far as the process that I'm taking right now than cutting through all this stone. That and it's faster, obviously. All right, let's do a little bit more andesite, transitioning. I was looking at the Christmas village or whatever, Christmas area, whatever we're calling it, in the overhead map thing with Dynamap or Dynamic Map or whatever. It's looking pretty cool. Sam, your snow globe is massive. I didn't realize how big it was when I was watching you build a little bit on stream. Alrighty. Gosh darn it. And there we go. It has falling snow. Cool. Do you like put the snow layers above leaves? I did that. That was actually in Bedrock though. I started off playing in Bedrock, and I did that in Bedrock. And the cool thing about Bedrock is that the leaves turn white from the snow. So that is a feature that I miss for sure. It looks really, really cool in Bedrock, snowy leaves. All right, let me take a drink. All right, how are we doing? Edges need a little work, but yeah, let's just stonify these guys a little bit more. Probably end up tearing it up because I like to do a little bit more of the mossy stuff on the corners. But for now, I'm just gonna, oops. I'm gonna stonify it. Oh, droppers dropping bone meal into powdered snow so the bone meal doesn't spread. Bone meal falls into a collection system and is recycled to fogging. Yeah, for sure. That's cool. That's a cool idea. Yeah, inspired by Etho. That's nice. That's a cool idea. Actually, when you put snow layers above leaves in Java, does it even fall? Does like snow fall? Because I don't think it does. Maybe it does. I don't even know. In Bedrock, that does. We're gonna test that. We're gonna test it. A second. I'm just curious what kind of parity exists. There's things like that in, when Mojang talks about trying to improve parity, and there's things like that have existed for the longest time, and seems to be such an easy win that I'm just surprised that it doesn't exist in Java. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Birdie. On Bedrock, the leaves turn white, and on Java it stays the same. But I think on Bedrock also the snow falls through the leaves. It's kind of like falling. It's a particle effect, kind of like falling leaves. I'm pretty sure, at least. Because I remember doing a snow globe, and I actually spawned snow golems in the snow globe. So when they walked around on the leaves, they would leave their little trails. little bit more andesite. Maybe on the edges here. And here. Get out of the hole. And here. Perfect. Okay. Alright, let's go through and start mossifying. Let's take the long way so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this is definitely not done, this whole area. But a little closer to where I'm going. But over here is probably the best example. So stuff like this. And then toward the end of this path is what I would say is the most ideal. I haven't put actual grass, the actual short grass and long grass and stuff like that here in bone meal, but that'll really take it over the top because this pale moss, obviously you can put grass on it. So that's the ultimate final form. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. Let me put some of this stuff away though. I like the street lamp design too. I've struggled with like a good one that is simple, but has a kind of a realistic quality. I so wish that we had like a darker color. I mean, black is probably too much to ask for, but a darker color bar and a lightning rod, but what are you gonna do? Because those being black would be like chef's kiss. I tried fully oxidized and I tried all the in-betweens and it looks all right. And I think I might mix that a little bit later on, but right now I'm just straight up copper. Yeah, cast iron in the game would be excellent, Sam. That would be so cool. I mean, I don't even care if like you had to craft it, like that's fine. But I think that's a really, like that palette is missing like a good, for a lot of builds, like a nice cast iron would really set it apart. Stone. All right. Let's put away this crap. And yeah, this over here, yeah. Put away the andesites, and we are off to. Okay, we only have 57. Okay, let's just start on an edge and then go from there. Yeah, that's cool, Sam. Put some iron. Oh, just jumped right into the freaking berry bush because I was trying to reach at. Put some iron or iron blocks in a blast furnace. Have another use for blast furnace. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Etho had this idea on one of his Let's Plays as far as another use for the blast furnace, which is essentially, I just think this is a really good idea. When you break down blocks, like say I have a bunch of slabs and stairs and stuff like that for andesite, for instance, is if you could put it into a blast furnace and then it would reform back to its original block state. Like, so if you put like 3 stairs in, they would combine to become a block again, or something along those lines, or 2 slabs in and then would become a block. I think that would be a really ingenious way, because for storage and for inventory maintenance, just all these variants that you have on 4 blocks, it gets so ridiculous that it would be really cool if you could kind of return them to your state if you've, made too many, or you just have a bunch floating around or what have you. All right, what are we doing? Let's do a little bit of this. What are you saying, Mojo? Blackstone does a reasonable impression of looking like cast iron, right? Though it would be nice to have a more reddish weathered texture too. Yeah, Blackstone works really well. But I was hoping like some fence, like a narrower and a bar. Obviously we only have 2 of these right now, but well, 5 if you count the different variant states of copper. And then obviously the 4 of these. But that's the thing that, and B-Dubs always talks about this in videos, is it's not just about having like one color or one palette with a block, it's all the varieties. So like nether brick is exceptional because it has fences, you know? So it has a wall state, a fence state, stair slabs, you know, all that stuff. That's more of that is what we need. More thickness varieties across the different hues. So currently we have that for like a lot of the browns because of wood, but except for the bars, obviously, but you know, if we could get more of that kind of stuff where you just basically variate between thicknesses, so you can really start using smooth. I did not grab any grass. So you can really start smoothing out edges and stuff like that in this blocky game. Petrified wood. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like a black or gray wood. Yeah. Yeah, because we currently have like, you know, the bark of wood. I don't even know if I have any. Yeah, like acacia obviously has, which I'm going to grab some of this because I wanted to experiment with that. Has more of a grayish hue. But yeah, when you strip it, then that's no more. All right, grass. I just hate, like, I mean, I don't hate necessarily, but most street lamp designs use walls because, you know, you have more wall varieties, you know, than as far as the colors that would lend themselves to a street lamp, like blacks and grays. You have more wall varieties than you have fences, which is basically only netherrack is the only in dark oak. But street lamps are thin. You know, I've never seen a street lamp that's like, what would a wall be? That's 4, so that's it's 1 meter, so it's about 3 feet. So it's a 1.5 foot wide, you know, pole. It's a little excessive for a street lamp, you know. But obviously we're in a blocky game, so everything is scale-wise, everything is out the window. Not that I'm complaining. It's just it would be nice to have a little bit of variety when it comes to narrower blocks and stuff. Right, that's cool. Okay, right here, this is where I wanted to kind of like, how would this be as a transition block? Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. If I variate them like that. Oh yeah, and then I put dripstone block. Let's go get that really quick. Try not to step on the berries. The dripstone block, I think, is maybe I should put that on the inside. Let's see. I went nuts trading with my villagers to get all these, by the way. Because I had a feeling that I was going to use them heavily in this exact exercise. Because I really love, let's see, right over here. I really love this transition. From gravel, dripstone block to, in this case, podzol, but even to the coarse dirt. I think that's a really nice transition. And then you throw leaf debris in there and just really, really good. And dripstone and more. That's exactly. All right, let's dig this up because I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the dripstone, which already looks awesome. And then this might not be the best place for this. Actually, let me go in a little bit. Let's do this. Yeah. And then I could do the leaf debris right here on that podzol edge. And boom. Boom, and then maybe right here, just for giggles. I think that works. I definitely think that works. I wish it was a little lighter, if I'm honest. But if I did like maybe right here, I don't know, maybe they're watering this garden or something, so it gets a little mossy. So let's try to blend it a little by doing this. So we'll have this, and then we'll have this. And And then we'll have, did I forget my mossy bricks? Oh my god, if I forget one stupid thing. Come on. Did I actually set, no I didn't, okay. Mossy bricks are right here. Yeah, I have 2 stacks. I can't believe I forgot to grab this. Alrighty then. Okay, and then we'll do this, and then let's carry that over a little bit. I like to do it under the trees because I think that would be pretty believable. To have a little bit more of a mossy under tree look. Let's do that. Let's do this. If I go to that sword one more time. That's too many in a row. Maybe I'll do that on the inside, actually. The hue is just looking like it needs, like the dripstone needs to be on the outside. Ah, I swear I grabbed it the right one, but there we go. Ah, that doesn't look that great though. Although, same direction, how about that? It's all right. I still think like another block, like something that goes from, this is just a little, you know, the value of this is just a little darker. Something that goes from here to here a little better would, I think suffice, but I'm gonna leave this out for right now and then see if I can come up with that transition block and then mess with it later. But right now we'll just kind of stick with this motif. Oops, did not mean to do that. Yeah, that's fine for right now. Tough, yeah, tough. Hey, thank you. Amoj. Yeah, I have like tough here. That could work. Tough is a little darker though. So if I did, let's try it. Let's just lay it out right here. So say this to maybe this to this to this. Yeah, no, it's good. That tough might work the best, actually. Yeah, let's give it a try. It's a good call. Let's just dig this up for a second. I don't want to like overdo it or anything. I just want a little edge here, and then maybe tough instead of these guys. Let's sleep and see what it looks like. Just Jessica. Sorry. Sorry to butcher your name, man. Thank you for joining the chat, Jay, and thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, I think that could work. I don't like this block here. I'd rather have that be like a tough block to transition a little better. Yeah, let's live with that for a second. That actually looks really good, man. Good call, Jay. Good call, especially if it was like literally right next to it. Speaking of that, I could just do this too. and then do this. Just to kind of grow that area. Yeah, okay. I will literally never finish this island if I spend this much time on each one of these stupid, like little chunks. Oh man. All right, let's take the. Oh, not that one. All right, and then my rule is no andesite should be matching up to there because I think it's just a little too light. There we go. Yeah, that's good. That looks like it's a heavily watered or shaded area that doesn't get to dry out as often as other areas. Thanks, Mojo, for joining the stream. I know it's pretty late for you, so I will have fun with the landscaping and you have fun with your sleep. All right. Let's cut in a little bit here and there with some grassy bits. I don't want to overdo it, just like a little bit here and there. So that's probably enough for this whole strip. Yeah, it's enough. Okay, maybe one more. Now people would cut that corner. People would cut that corner for sure. If anything, it would be like on this side that you'd have that. And this is where I get a little fun with this stuff. Because the cool thing about pale moss is that you can put grass on it, so it makes the transition really, really nice. Too much of a straight line. No, that's good. That's cool. Thanks, Sam, for attending the stream. Have a good dinner. Sometimes you place these things and it sounds like a creeper sneaking up on you. All right, we gotta do the area too before I end up skipping this whole area over here, because I have not done enough over here. Two. That's cool. All right. That's looking good. Oh, sorry, Jay, I missed your andesite into mossy cobble. Yeah. Comment. Yeah, I think we're onto something. I think we're definitely onto something. Let's do a little bit more just regular stone here, though. All right, that's good. That's a good look. And I haven't even put the short grass or done any bone mealing or anything. And I think, sorry, I just had to take a drink there. I think that will really set things off in a good way. Okay, let's get some Pale moss over here. And pale moss. That corner I still think would be cut, so maybe pale moss right over here. Awesome. I'm gonna need more pale moss, so I'm gonna have to go to Sam's shop and purchase some, because I do not have a way of acquiring. I really should make myself a little moss farm. We're definitely not going to finish this on stream. Because there's a lot of road. Alright, I don't want to overdo this. Let's get a couple more pale moss. Whoop, did not mean to do that. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. There's a lot of refining. This is not exactly a speedy business. Just going over here for reference really quick. Still think I could do this a little better as well. This is my little netherwort farm. My free range netherwort farm. I try to do like a little, like, I don't know, people are, I don't know, picking this or something and then storing it in these barrels. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing, but just something to kind of break it up a bit. Yeah, it's too uniform right now. I'm gonna have to go in at least in a couple spots, kind of like this, where it gets a little farther in. That probably isn't gonna work with that though. That looks like crap. We're getting there. Keep on saying the same thing over and over again, but it's true. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. I'm going to be adding grass and, you know, the short grass and stuff, so that will definitely break it up quite a bit. And also, I need to add a lot of plants in this area right here, which I'm still debating on exactly what I want to add as far as plants are concerned. Because I don't know. I don't know if I want to add like just short flowers or maybe a taller hedge. Or like arborvitae or something like that. Something that breaks it up though. Not too imposing though that it will cover up the actual architecture. of the build. So I gotta figure that out. But I think that will kind of dictate how crazy this road gets as well. That's cool. I like it. Talk about an overgrown look though. This will, if I start placing grass on a lot of these pale moss blocks, this is going to get really overgrown really quickly, so, which is a good thing. I think I could tend to overdo that though, so I'll have to like really kind of temper it. Is that it for pale moss? That is, okay, so I'm gonna have to go get more pale moss. But we made quite a bit of progress. So that's another debate, is street lamps, whether we place them on the inside or whether we place them on the outside. I think the outside will work the best. But maybe not. Maybe not. I have a street lamp box though. Let me go grab that really quick and just place a couple street lamps. Get over there. My dedicated street lamp box. Probably put this gravel away. I don't think I'm gonna need that much gravel. And I could throw that stone back. I'll keep all the rest of the stuff in my inventory just in case. Alright, let's go throw a street lamp or two up. A couple on the inside and a couple on the outside, and let's just see what we think. I'm gonna line them with the building somewhat. The first one will probably be right here in this line. Alright, let's do this right on the edge. Oops. Where my fences go? Oh, right in front of my face. I think the outside is going to work the best as far as functionality, because I'll still have a lot of spawnable spaces, but currently the lighthouse, the greenhouse puts out, quite a bit of light. Still quite a lot of spawnable spaces, obviously, but this will give me the maximum coverage as far as spawnability. Not that my agenda isn't necessarily just to prevent spawns, it's more aesthetics than anything else, but I think that'll work well. Thinking about like point of view, so you're coming off this bridge, you walk in this direction. I don't know. Maybe the inside would be better. Do the both side thing too, which is what I did over here. My little lighthouse, or lighthouse, I keep on saying the wrong words. My bridge trail. do not like, I don't like the both sides. I think the inside is what I'm gonna go for. For some reason, that just seems more plausible to me from a realism standpoint. Like they would probably run power through the lighthouse, or the greenhouse, oh my lord, through the greenhouse. Might even move this one over here. There's a point over here that I have them staggered, and I think that looks really believable as well. And then opposite side of the pond, and then on the inside, like on the pond, like the inside of the pond, around here. I think that would work well. Yeah, maybe move this one over. I'm already overlapping a lot of lights. So what if I would just move it all the way over here? So it lines up with this. Then we'll go all down here, and then in the front, I'd have some like lights hanging off the front, and then all through there. I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh my lord. Yeah. That'll give me an opportunity to do some like trees and stuff like that on this side. Yeah, I think that works. Actually lines up with these ones too, funnily enough. Where's the one on the edge? It's probably 16 blocks away up. We put one right here. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, probably right here. Yes. Whoop. Get over here. Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, they look nice and spread out. That's good. That is really good. Okay. Let's start counting 16 from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's awesome. Thank God I built in a grid. Meaning it's lining up with this is awesome. I did not expect that. Accidental. not pre-planned. Yeah. Cool. That's working. All right, fellas, ladies and gents, I am going to call it a stream. I've been streaming for an hour and 42, and that's pretty much all I have in me. It's a work day for me, so nonetheless, thank you so much for joining, thank you so much for chatting, and thank you so much for all the likes and everything. So, catch you later.